Hello, John McConnin here. I'm an attorney and a lawyer. First of all, thank you for coming to the website, taking your time to review what we're offering here. And not only are we willing to sell your home for 1%, we're going to use tremendous marketing and we're going to be happy to do it. And you say you're an attorney and a realtor and you're happy to work for 1% when you've charged 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. And my statement is absolutely. It's a market-oriented decision. And here's why. During the short sale process, I got used to selling a lot of homes. I sold well over 100 short sales. Those short sales frequently took 3 and 4 buyers in the beginning because banks took 6 months to 18 months to approve a property, and most buyers didn't stick around. I had to have staff at my law firm, so we were contacting the bank all the time and making sure the short sale packages were put together and they were up to date. And I had to work with, when I had 43 listings at one point, I'd have other realtors in my office help me out listing those as co-listing agents on my my properties. At the end of the day, when I was looking at my net, I was making 1% and I was happy to do it. And I made much better money as a realtor than I did as a lawyer. Secondly, in recent times, again, working as a lawyer for a lot of buyers and sellers, because there was such a strong sellers market that some for sale by owners called me up and said, how can I help them? And they want to go over the contracts with me. And in fact, you can see, and I'll still do this with people. I did because I'd like to get some more Google Hangout videos out there. I told one who's out there that you can see it at YouTube and Google Plus. If he did a Google Hangout with me, I'd help him go over the contract. And even for the people that took me up and wanted to pay me hourly, rarely at $3.75 an hour did I get anywhere close to 1%, whether working for the sellers or the buyers. So 1% is great. Now, you might say, John, well, why don't I just hire as an attorney? And I say, fine. Sell your home, and if you want to work by yourself, and then just hire me to, by the hour to help you out with things, I'm happy to do that. I'm an attorney, and I'm used to working that way. But let me also say, I once sold my home myself. Let me get to that next slide. And this is the marketing lesson that I learned. I was able to get a lot of people to see my property, and that's the point. We'll talk about this. You want to go follow a traffic model more than using price as your lure. And I put the sign in the yard, and believe me, I did a lot of real estate contracts before I ever became a real estate agent. So I was fully confident drafting the contracts, and I was talking to a lot of buyers, but I couldn't get them over the hump to make an offer at a reasonable price. But I'll tell you what, a few weeks later, when I finally hired a realtor who I negotiated his fee with, I mean, that's a side note, but realtors, you'll see a lot of them in their training for their objections will say, why would we, we're professionals. You wouldn't ask for a lawyer for a discount or a doctor. And, doctors know many charge less for the cash price. And lawyers know everyone negotiates with them their fees all the time. So I'm happy, it's part of doing business. And you might want to negotiate your fee with me. That's fine. And I'm going to know what my bottom line is and what's going to work. And I'm going to evaluate your home. And if I think I'm going to make good money doing 1%, I'll be happy to do it for 1%. And the lessons that I learned is but you still got to get buyers to pay full value for your property or more if that's what you're seeking. And scared buyers frequently won't do that. They might make offers, but they're going to want to make a discounted offer because they're not fully relaxed and confident in their own decision-making abilities, their own buying abilities, and their own transaction abilities. So I found that when I got a realtor, all of a sudden I was targeting like $625, $630 to sell my home in Carlsbad 10 years ago. And I wound up getting $685 from the same buyer, and 2 others made offers on my property that far exceeded the actual realtor's fees that I paid. So that's what I was like, wow, I got to get into this business. Buyers really do, many buyers, and there's a probabilities game. You might have that one buyer come along who was at their parents' house or a friend's house and say, I want to live in this neighborhood, and they might be willing to buy your house when they see your sign right out in front, right there. But it's a probabilities game. The probability that the strong part of the buyer's pool, the motivated buyers, the ones who are paying top dollar, also want to know that they're going to have top professionals working with them, that they're going to have a lawyer, a realtor, or both going over the contract with them. They're going to know that they have good escrow and good title, and they've been introduced to a good lender, all that stuff. That's part and parcel why you're going to get top dollar when you can get the buyers feeling confident, which goes to some of the other things we talk about when going over, and I'm willing to do this whether you're my client or not, but we'll go over whether your property might want to be pre-inspected or, carpet and paint. Will that make a big difference in your net? Pre-repaired, I think, can, so that your inspection looks good. Pre-appraised, especially if the appraisal comes in near your price or higher, you might want to consider doing a pre-appraisal. All these things to get buyers especially buyers not represented by realtors, even some who don't trust their realtors, over their anxiousness. And believe me, a lot of buyers will still contact the seller's realtor directly because they think they're going to get a better deal that way. And you can get them, well, we can go over the market, you get the point. There's a lot of ways to get to the higher net, but there's also a lot of ways that you won't. And I think most agents are using the price of your house as a lure. What happens when the price doesn't sell? They say, let's lower the price. I do it too, because sometimes it's price, sometimes it's traffic. I think the main goal is when you start out your marketing efforts in the sale of your property, you should be marketing towards, let me click on to the next thing. That's a small, I think I'm going to pull over a good sized picture of this. This is the pricing pyramid, and this is where your listing realtor earns a lot of their living. They need to get you into because they're, especially if you're using the MLS and you're paying 5 or 6%, you are going to have a net that's already 4, 5, 6% under market value. And how do you get to market value to your net or higher? Well, part of that comes from marketing to the motivated buyers, the buyers who want to live in your neighborhood, who want to live in your house, who are confident that they're doing the right thing, that are willing to pay fair market value or above. There are ways to market to motivated buyers. We will discuss that. We'll show you what we do in order to accomplish that. Because if you're starting at market value and then you reduce your price of your house, you're really just playing into the buyer's pyramid. I mean, at some point you're going to have professionals coming in and making offers on your home. And, did you really need to pay a realtor or realtors 5 or 6% to use price as your lure? My answer is no. Well, my answer is that you should be figuring out how to market to the motivated part of the buyer pool. Let me now pull this back out of here and we'll go to the next slide. So, what are we going to suggest? Things that we suggest can help you get there? Well, we believe in a powerful social marketing suite, not the type that every realtor just pays lip service to, but someone who can actually show you that this is what they do. For instance, if you were to talk to me, I might show you my Facebook campaign where you can see I've made all sorts of campaigns for buyers' properties and for buyers and sellers. Frequently, when I advertise for buyers into the area, like if your home's listed in La Jolla, I will put up a pay-per-click campaign for La Jolla homes, and we'll do that on Facebook. We'll do that over on Google pay-per-click, and then we can also do we'll make a single web page for you, and we'll drive pay-per-click traffic to that web page, all designed to get to the motivated buyers searching for homes like yours. And we can tailor with our video, with some of the marketing things we can do, particularly on Facebook. We can tailor to the segment and the audience that might be interested in your property. We're also going to look at like Google Plus. I've been getting some videos to rank on the first page of Google lately, so that you got SEO and Google Plus itself drives traffic. I think that the other day I was looking, and my YouTube channel, I have over 40,000 views, and part of the reason is we're using Google Plus and SEO well. And when we click on the Google Plus, nice pictures show at the website. It's all part of the package. Now, we're also experienced this, probably one word, Craigslist marketing. We use Twitter. I've recently incorporated that and driven some buyers to my single web page clients listings and some of my own marketing. I never say Pinterest, right? But, we have San Diego. We have different groupings of houses on Pinterest that drive some traffic to our website. As I said, we can get your video to rank with SEO sometimes. That's very difficult for some agents. We've gotten good at it, but I can't make guarantees because Google's always changing. And we also believe local marketing and social marketing. We believe in postcards to the neighborhood and open house. And, these are optional things. Not everyone wants open house and signs in front. But if you're trying to get to the higher net, we'll discuss the pros and the cons. We'll customize the marketing plan, tailored to your needs, designing it to get to the top end of that pricing pyramid where you're going to have motivated buyers who are going to give you a fast close and a strong net. Now, this is the part where I try to explain to you why not call me. We're going to, for our 1% consult, it's not going to, I love talking on the phone. You can come to the office too. Most people prefer to just talk on the phone at first and then come to the office. So we'll talk on the phone. I'm going to get a little drink of water in my mouth. It's getting dry. You may tell from my animated presence here, or you can see my YouTube videos, that I enjoy the markets. I love real estate. I love talking about things. And there's no secret sauce. When we're going my ideas for custom marketing plan, you're free to ask any questions. You can even ask contract questions, especially if they're prospective. I don't have any secret sauce. It's good, solid marketing, good, solid work. I earn my money. I don't mind. I want you to sell your house. That's fine too. You can, if I help you and it was free and you sold your house and you're happy, maybe make a social marketing comment. Say John was great at this or something. I don't mind. I find most people, if you give them value, they respond. And, so we can go over what I would do. You can pick my brain for 5 or 30 minutes, whatever you want to do. Just give me a call at 760-896-4663. Send me an email, john@favoriterealestate.com. I'll contact you. We can set up a time, whatever you want to do. It's the interesting part of my job. It's why I prefer doing real estate rather than being an attorney. Once again, I'm happy to sell your home for 1%. And, if you're in line with the full marketing plan, we'll get it done. Thanks. Talk to you later.